The night was alive with the hum of city lights, the clinking of glasses, and the hushed conversations inside the exclusive rooftop bar. But the quiet calm was shattered when a group of loud, arrogant men strutted in, laughing too loudly, their eyes locking onto a woman sitting at the corner table. She was dressed in a simple but elegant black dress, her posture regal, her aura commanding respect. That woman was Ava Morgan, one of the youngest self-made CEOs in the country. But tonight, she wasn't here as a business powerhouse. She was here to escape the crushing weight of her responsibilities, to enjoy a rare evening where she could breathe. What Ava didn't know was that fate had placed someone extraordinary beside her, a man who seemed almost invisible in the crowd, though he carried a presence like a storm ready to break. His name was Jack Hunter. A single dad, a quiet soul. But behind those calm, watchful eyes lay the history of a Navy SEAL who had fought in some of the darkest places on Earth. Tonight, Jack wasn't looking for trouble. He was just here to unwind after another exhausting week of balancing odd jobs and raising his little daughter. Yet trouble had already found its way to their table. The men circled Ava like vultures, throwing crude remarks, mocking her success, trying to make her small. "Look at you," one sneered, leaning too close. "Big shot CEO sitting here alone. Where's your army of assistants now?" Their laughter echoed across the bar, sharp and cutting. Ava kept her chin high, her pride refusing to let their words pierce her. But inside, old wounds reopened, the years of men doubting her, mocking her dreams, trying to break her spirit. She clenched her hands under the table, holding back tears that threatened to fall. Jack had been watching silently, weighing the moment. He had promised himself he'd stay out of fights unless it was absolutely necessary. His daughter needed him, but when he saw Ava's eyes shimmer with hurt, something inside him shifted. He couldn't stay quiet. Not tonight. He leaned forward, his voice low, steady, but carrying a power that silenced the room. She said no. Walk away. The bullies turned, sizing him up. Just a man in jeans and a worn leather jacket. A single dad with tired eyes. They laughed. "And what are you gonna do if we don't, old man?" Jack stood slowly, his frame towering, shoulders broad, every movement calm yet lethal. For the first time, fear flickered in their eyes, though they tried to mask it with bravado. "You really don't want to know," he said. The first one lunged, throwing a wild punch. In a blur, Jack sidestepped, dropping him with a strike so fast no one even saw it coming. Gasps filled the air. Another tried to tackle him, but Jack twisted, using the man's momentum to send him crashing into a table. Within seconds, chaos erupted. The group of men, 10, 15, 20, piled onto him, convinced sheer numbers could overpower him. But Jack moved like water, every strike precise, controlled. He wasn't just fighting, he was teaching them a lesson. One by one, they fell. 50 men against one, and still, Jack didn't waver. He wasn't fighting for pride. He wasn't fighting for ego. He was fighting because the world needed to be reminded that respect was earned, not stolen, and that women like Ava deserved to stand tall without fear. Ava sat frozen, her heart pounding. She had read about heroes, about warriors. But to see one in front of her, defending her without asking for anything in return, moved her in a way she couldn't explain. The last of the bullies stumbled out of the bar, groaning, broken, humiliated. Silence fell. All eyes were on Jack. He didn't bask in the attention, didn't gloat. He simply turned to Ava and offered his hand. "You okay?" Her breath caught. She nodded, taking his hand. Why did you do that for me?" she whispered. Jack's expression softened, the steel in his eyes giving way to warmth. "Because no one should have to fight battles alone. I know what that feels like." In that moment, Ava saw beyond the fighter. She saw the father, the man who carried scars invisible to the world. She saw someone who understood her loneliness, her struggles, her fight to be seen. Later that night, as they walked out together under the city's glowing skyline, Ava asked about his daughter. His voice changed instantly, filled with tenderness as he spoke about the little girl who was his entire world. Ava smiled, realizing that the strongest men were often the ones who lived for something greater than themselves. And as they parted ways, something unspoken lingered between them, a connection forged not by circumstance, but by courage, respect, and an unshakable truth. Heroes aren't the ones who seek glory. They're the ones who step up when the world turns away. If you're still here, it means this story touched something in you. Maybe it reminded you that kindness, courage, and respect still matter in a world that too often forgets them. If you believe in stories that inspire, stories that remind us of strength, dignity, and hope, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that uplift and empower. Because together, we can keep the light alive in a world that needs it now more than ever.